Take a walk with me, I'm on the ranch. Take a walk with me. Watch Raven and Prissy dance in the breeze. Junior Cluck and Oscar's cock-a-doodle-doo-doos just for you. Lucky and Lucy gobbling as they do. Take a walk with me on the ranch. Take a walk with me.
Good Sunday morning. I'm so glad to be back. The Boy Scouts were here this weekend. It is such a beautiful morning right now. I opened my umbrella because I couldn't see. And yesterday it was so windy. The poor boys had to keep putting their tents back up. One of them broke. It was just nasty here yesterday, except I did get, I don't know if you can see, I got the South Penn Herald, and I went into work on the round pen, and I got stuck. On the north side of the round pen, the sand is so deep, I got stuck, even with the chains on. So luckily the Boy Scouts were here, and they came and pushed me out. I think what I'm going to do is try to mow it today. There's going to be sand flying everywhere, but I don't know what else to do. I don't want to put the girls in there because if the girls start eating that grass, they're going to get a stomach full of sand, and that's not good. I'm sorry I wasn't here this weekend. I just needed some mental health time for myself. Yes, when you teach this mindfulness stuff, even psychiatrists, they cry. They have bad days. Nobody's perfect. And sometimes you can do all the tapping in the world, and sometimes you can do all the breathing in the world, and feelings just overwhelm you. And I cannot get started. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to get started with my equine therapy classes because, like I said on Facebook, I was going to go out and hug a horse and a chicken. Oh my gosh, they knew something was up with me. They knew it wasn't right. They didn't try to bite me or headbutt me. They just hugged me. And those are my girls. But it is nice to talk to humans once in a while because this morning I couldn't find the box of Kleenex, and I asked Annabelle, my cat, where's the box of Kleenex? Of course, she didn't answer, but she looked at me concerned, and she had sympathy for me that I couldn't find the box of Kleenex. What would we do without our animals? If you're watching this in church, shame on you. Good gravy. So now I'm like 6 or 7 days behind, but you know what? It's okay because today's a new day. I'm going to get done what I can get done. I have to clean out the pond over there because the water evaporated or blew out. I think it mostly blew out because the wind yesterday. The fountain blows the water right out of the pond and then it goes down. I'm going to brush out the horses on Wednesday. And I will do that live. Monday and Tuesday nights, it will be below 32. I have to take the plants that are surviving back in. I'm going to go to Home Depot. Jim gave me 2 tomato plants of his. But I had 2 cherry tomato, 2 yellow pepper, 2 green pepper, and 2 red pepper. And it is so hard to find orange pepper. And I have the seeds and I wanted to start some this year and totally forgot. Whoops. I think like come October, we're just going to have to put up a greenhouse to move all our plants in because they're going to be so late. But we can't help it if it's the weather. And they always say, wait till after Mother's Day. Well, it's after Mother's Day and our plants are going to die if I leave them out. Jim lost all but 2 of his tomato plants that he had in the buckets. I'm just praying that the trees make it. The apple trees have pretty flowers. We'll go look at those. The lilacs are blooming. I hope they survive. Okay, I'm coming. Yesterday I went and got hay. I went did a hay run. And the hay is in the hay room where it belongs. I don't know if you can see Prissy over there trying to stick her head through the fence to get some green grass. Tuesday. I think Tuesday. I don't know if maybe I'll take you on a road trip with me. I don't know. I might have to leave you in the car when I go in to pay for the fencing, but we'll see. I have to figure out today how many I need. I know I need at least 3 between the north and south pens. The rest of them don't look too bad. We have a pipe that we use to stick between the squares to try to straighten out the fences. And I can't do it by myself. I'll be an honest woman. I need a man. I am not strong enough to do it myself. I really can't wait to get those girls out in that south pasture or the east pasture, east pen. Oh, good Lord. I can't wait to get the girls out in the east pen so they can run. They got a little exercise yesterday when I was harrowing the south pen because they were running up and down the fence with me on the mini tractor. And so they got some exercise yesterday. I got some exercise yesterday. It is just such a beautiful, glorious morning. I am sitting at my patio table. And what does Raven, what do you have in your mouth? I think I need to go find out. Come here, Raven. She dropped it. I'll go out there in a minute and see what's going on. Everything was blowing. I mean, yesterday was one of those days where you find your neighbor's stuff in your yard. It was that bad. So before we do birthdays today, since we can no longer play, is Oscar out first? Oscar will always be in my intro, though. I miss him. Even though he sometimes attacked my feet when I walked in the chicken coop. And he was mean to Lucky. I miss him. But we still have Dally and Pumpkin, our roosters. And 10 days, I have to call my neighbor. I've never received eggs or live chicks in the mail before. And I know they don't show up with the mail lady. So I have to call Dustin and find out, does the post office call you when they arrive? Do you just keep calling and bugging the post office? Do you go pitch your tent at the post office till they show up? I don't know. But Dustin just got chicks. Unfortunately, I think he had 35 chicks and only 2 showed up alive. So sad. And I hate to say this, but it's probably the younger delivery guys who kids nowadays, they don't have And I'm not going to say all kids because it's not all kids, but 90% of the kids nowadays, they don't care. It's a job. If it says fragile, they're going to throw it anyway. You know, why out of 35 chicks, only 2 were alive? It probably says pack on top, and they had probably had 35 things packed around it, so the poor chicks couldn't even breathe. Anyway, positive note, guinea fowl should be here the 28th or 29th, and I am going to call Dustin and find out how I retrieve my eggs. That is exciting. So, no, since we no longer can play Is Oscar Out First, here are your choices. And we'll go do that after we do birthdays. Your choices are Lucky, who is the tom turkey, Lucy, who is the hen turkey, Dally, my first ever hatched egg named after Delscone Farm. He's a rooster. Chips, my second ever egg to be hatched, who was named after fish and chips because that's what Ben and Christoph were eating when they were going on the ferry to Lewis Harris. I don't know, the tweed factory in Harris, who makes Harris tweed. Pumpkin, my only blue egg. Pumpkin is my Heartland Hampshire Cream, my own breed of chicken. Unfortunately, his mom, Hoppy, was eaten by Rocky the raccoon, but not before she laid that egg. So I need new cream leg bar hens to mate with Dally, to breed with Dally, so I can get some Heartland Hampshire Cream hens, and then I can put those in with Pumpkin and have my own breed of chicken. I don't know what color eggs they're going to lay, if they're going to be brown or brown with blue spots or blue with brown spots, or we'll find out though, won't we? Wonky. Wonky was an egg I hatched, and when she was born, she had splay leg where both of her legs go out to the side. That's what I concentrated on. I did not concentrate on her toe that goes, it points east, you know. But she's happy and healthy. Her legs are fine. She walks around fine. And I named her after Wonky the goat at Delscone. They're both wonky. Gladys, who she's not a total Rhode Island because Oscar is her dad, but Gladys was Boo's sister's daughter. And I feel so bad right now. I can't remember Boo's sister's name. It's on the wall in there. Good gravy. That I hate when that happens. I feel so bad. It's not like I didn't love her. I did. So Gladys is half New Hampshire, half Rhode Island. Spot. Spot is a New Hampshire that has a spot on his nose. And of course, we have number 1 and number 2, Oscar's ladies. They're New Hampshires. And I hate to say, but I will never get New Hampshires again. I'm hoping I'm not going to go back and redo everything. I don't think. But I was told that New Hampshires are more docile than Rhode Islands, and in my experience, that is not true. Boo just walked around and you could pick her up, and she was just the sweetest thing. And these New Hampshires are mean to the other chickens, and that's just been my experience. If you've had a different experience, I hope you have. That is just great. So these are your, how many are there? 6, 10. I have 10 birds. These are your 10 choices of who is going to come out of the coop first today. So make your pick. Put it in the comments. I think right now we need to do birthdays. And I am so sorry that this weekend, if I missed your birthday, I hope you had a wonderful day. I'm really, really sorry. I really needed those mental health days. All right. Are we ready? It's loading. There we go. I can hear it today. Happy birthday, Mike Ording. Now, I went to school with Mike back in Illinois. I could not tell you where he is right now. He moves all over the place. I think he's about 7 feet tall. And if I'm wrong, Mike, post it on your Facebook page how tall you actually are. I don't think he ever stops growing. Happy birthday, John, Chris, Kirby, Rayanne, and Mark. I hope you have a wonderful birthday today and another amazing trip around the sun. Okay. Gotta wave at the neighbors. That was Glenn. Neighbor Glenn. So now let's take a walk. I'm going to tell you right now, we did not get a raccoon. I have a feeling and I'm not going to take it for granted. But I have a feeling that Reggie the raccoon was a one-time thing. I think he found a chicken coop that he could get into, and I hope it wasn't Dustin and Natalie's. Because Evie takes care of the chickens, and I think Evie is 10. And I know it's part of life, and they eat all their animals, but I still wouldn't want Evie to walk in to find a massacre in the chicken coop. I'm going to put my lid on my coffee. Because I had to take the lid off because it was too hot. So let's go. Oh, look what I did on total accident. So remember I was saying I couldn't see comments on StreamYard because there was like this share your link thing that was going over them. I accidentally just touched it and it turned into a little $ instead. So I think I can see, but I have it set so Facebook is so weird. All my live streams are private. Not private, but friends only on Facebook. So after I get off of live, I have to go in and set it to public and you can't, comments will not go to Facebook. Comments, I have it set to go to YouTube because that's my only choice. Why can't we just all be happy and just, why do I have to watch what I say? Like, you're staring at my tub over there, right there, that I have to fix. I have to buy a new drain cap for it. And it says Rubbermaid. Rubbermaid is going to get mad at me for saying those are like the best troughs ever. I mean, wouldn't they have to pay me to advertise their stuff? I don't care. Rubbermaid is a great water trough. They're kind of like indestructible. Remember the commercials about I can't even remember the suitcase, but I remember the gorilla. Indestructible suitcase. Do you remember those commercials? I don't care. And you know what? This is my favorite soda. I think at Del Scone they drink that too, but I would love to just go there and taste one. because I know their Fanta soda is so much healthier than our Fanta soda. And nothing against Fanta soda. As you can see, all the poles for the horse training fell over again. Luckily, the bucket of twine fell over but did not blow all over. I told Jim I'm going to get rebar this week. I can't get it at Big R. I have to go all the way into Castle Rock to get it at Home Depot. I am determined to tie those puppies down so they will stop blowing over. And this time it wasn't the horses knocking them over because the horses weren't over here. So I'm coming. Do you see me walking around? I'm coming. I cut the grass over. Oh, that's another thing I can show you. The Boy Scouts are packing up to go home. I'm going to put my coffee right there. And we will go in here, close up the raccoon. I think I just might put it away until we can, until I see him. Because after Rocky the raccoon, we pretty much made the chicken coop indestructible. Like, nobody can get in there unless you're a mouse. We did not seal it for mice. But okay, let's. Who's up first? I hope you remember your list, your choice. I have no idea. Who is that? Was that Gladys? I don't know who my chickens are now. I'm gonna have to put colored band on them. So y'all get a badge for that one. Okay, you gotta let me out. You gotta let me out and you're not coming with me. No, 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 no. Everybody back. Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Petunia. Oh my gosh. How did I forget Petunia and Daisy on the list? They weren't out first, but all right, so I can tell what chicken's who when I pick them up and get close to them. Right, Dally? We know who Dally is. I gotta put my feet up so that I don't trip over them. When I get up close to them, so I'll put colored bands on them so that game just didn't go well today, did it? It's like yesterday. 2 years ago when the Boy Scouts were here, we played a game that, if you know what team penning is, you take a bunch of calves and you put numbers on them. And there's 3 of the same number. I'm coming. There's 3 of the same number. And then there's a team of 3 on horses. And they go into this pen and they have to separate the calves. So there's 3 number 1s, 3 number 2s, 3 number 3s, 3 number 4s. And you have to separate these calves and get them into another pen in your time doing this. So when the Boy Scouts were here, what I did was I took little tiny beach balls and I numbered them. And then I put all their names in a Rubbermaid bowl. And I pulled out 2 names, and those were the teams, just to make it fair so they couldn't buddy up with their friends. And that's like a team building thing, you know? And I dumped all the balls out there. Look at this. I'm sorry. Let's just sidetrack for a second. I cut all this grass. So I found my harrow, which I am selling if you need a harrow, because it's useless. I drag it and it does nothing. This one, our homemade harrow, on a piece of hog panel, which a piece of, I'm not even anymore. Gosh, that's what this is. This was a piece of solder desk. And I don't know if anybody has ever bought a solder desk or solder furniture. I don't even know if they make it anymore. They were at Kmart and Walmart. They are heavy pieces of furniture, but you got to put them together. Well, we took this desk apart and cut this piece because it was so heavy, and I just realized it has all disintegrated. But anyway, we had this there's a piece of hog panel with some other fencing underneath it, and then this piece of solder desk, couple weights, this push bar that doesn't fit on Jim's tractor or ATV, but it's really heavy. Put that on there, tied a chain to it. Well, we didn't tie it, but we wired it. This thing is amazing. It is an amazing harrow. This harrow, and this was free. This was just pieces of stuff that we put together to make a harrow. This harrow is $350 and it's useless. So I will sell it for $200 because I've used it twice. I gave it another chance after the first try. All right, so let's go back to team penning. I dumped all the balls down at that end of the East Pen, and there were teams of 2, and they had to gently use their feet. They could not like football kick it. They had to gently use their feet to roll those balls into the round pen. And they were timed, and it was fun. And then Friday, Jim suggested we play that game again. Couldn't play it yesterday. There was no way. I said, well, we could just dump the bag of balls, and whoever comes back with the most from the neighbor's yard, they win. So anyway, this is something else I wanted to tell you. So I'm cutting this grass yesterday so I can keep all the, and the Boy Scouts moved all the rolls of fence that were over there too. Thank you, Boy Scouts. I cut all this. I'm going around the doghouse, which I'm really, really hoping is going to be a sheep house very soon. If anybody out there knows of a baby sheep that is orphaned, needs to be bottle fed, or even 2. What's another one, let them know Heartland Ranch, Colorado is looking for baby sheep. So I'm going around and I come over here and all these start ringing. Do not know. I'm not missing it. And Boo, I mean, it could have been part of Boo. It's not a head. That right. It was feathers that just started flying. And it was very sad. And at first, your heart stops like, oh my God, did I run over a chicken? But I knew I didn't. I have all my chickens. So I'm going to have to redo that list. I cannot believe I forgot Petunia and Daisy on the list. What's wrong with me? And I can't remember Boo's sister's name. I think we will go in and find out. I got to feed these girls before they knock the fence panels down. Look at, can you see? Hay neatly stacked in the corner. I cannot wait to clean this out. As you can see, like Halloween decorations just got thrown in here. Because the snow came pretty quick this year. Whoops. Nope. Can't do that. I wish I could turn this, but I can't. I need the other leg. Why won't this part turn? No, because if I do that, I don't know. I'll have to figure something else out. I just got to make sure you don't tip over. All right, let me put my gloves on and go grab the hay. I got a few more. Okay. What an amazing day today. All right, so let's talk about, we will go back over to the patio table. I'm going to be cleaning waters today, the water trough and the chicken waterers. And, you know, well, my lives on playback, and I don't stop talking because I can't think of what I want to say. I stop talking because I need to catch my breath. But hopefully, after my doctor appointment Thursday with my pulmonologist, maybe it'll start getting better. We'll see. I'm not moving. I'm not moving to lower ground. It's just not happening. I will, if I have to disguise my oxygen hose as something else so Prissy won't eat it. And even the chickens. I've had my oxygen around the chickens before. Look how pretty Pumpkin is. He's gonna have some pretty babies. I've even had my oxygen on a couple times in the chicken coop, and they're, what is on you? Can I peck at that hose? So I'll figure it out. I'm not going anywhere. Boy Scouts are packing up. So let's go sit back over here. This little thing, I love this little thing. This little thing is so flipping handy. My mini tractor And now that I figured out how all the attachments work, it I'm doing it a lot faster. Okay. A lot faster for me. Anybody else could do it way faster, but of course I can't breathe, so it takes me a while. Um, the Harrow is really easy to put on. The blade, which I have to do today because all that muck is getting pushed out to the east pen, and I will harrow it into the dirt. I want to try. Oh, I should have showed you. There's um, an aerator attachment. It's pretty big. Has a bunch of spikes coming out of it. I haven't used it yet, and I haven't tried to hook it up yet. So we'll see how easy that's going to be. But I could use that after I push all the muck from the north pen out to the east pen. I could probably use that aerator to stir up that dirt out there better than the Harrow could. So I want to tell you about something else I'm creating. I think I'm going to launch it June 16th. So if you or you know of anyone, I don't want to talk about my personal self on this channel, even though I did post what I was going through, because I want to be transparent. I want people out there to know nobody's perfect. Do not look at someone and judge them because of what you think is wrong with them. Usually, when you look at someone and say they're batshit crazy, usually there's a chemical imbalance in their brain and they're probably really depressed. They're overwhelmed. I will never forget what my father taught me. He sat there and poked me in the arm with one finger, and he didn't stop. And I'm looking at him like he's totally whacked out. And finally he says to me, "How long are you going to take this before you blow?" And that was a good point. People can only take so much before they blow. They're only human. And I blew a few times in my life. But when I blow, it may not have been for that one particular situation. It was probably a buildup of 10 different situations. And I finally blew. I know it's hard to do, but if someone, when I blew, if someone would have just came up to me and hugged me and told me it's okay, let's make a doctor appointment, let's find out what's going on. But no, I was judged. I was judged as batshit crazy, which I'm not. You know I'm not. Am I? If you think I'm batshit crazy, just post it in the comments right now and I will walk away. But I don't think I am. I would just like to know what is wrong with me. If you have any comments on what I do or what I say, or let me know. I need to know this stuff. I need to know why my family has always pushed me aside. Why my children, especially why my children are not talking to me for 16 years. Is this something on their end? Is this like I've got a secret? I know my family, I know a couple of people in my family like to play I got a secret. But I mean, my whole family, somebody in that family's got to know why nobody's talking to me and why my children are not talking to me and why my ex-husband was invited to my niece's wedding when he was my ex-husband. And here's the thing. I know I am not the only one. I read stuff on Facebook all the time about Why is my child not talking to me? You know, why is why is my brother so mean to me? It happens all the time and you're not alone. But you can overcome it. And 10 years ago I started writing a book. And it was kind of like therapy, but it was only 6 years after my children were not talking to me. Oh, look at this. Really? You both escaped today? You both flew the coop? Seriously, Daisy? Seriously, Lucy? I'm really glad the fox is gone because this is what scares me about letting them out. I did not know that Daisy could fly the coop. I knew Lucy could, and I want to clip her wings, but I'm afraid because I've never done it before. I know I've read how to do it, I've learned how to do it, I've just never done it myself. And if you cut it wrong, they could bleed to death. So they're looking for water. I gotta get them some water. And the pond is dried up over there. Anyway, so I started writing this book mainly as part of therapy for myself. But I wanted my children to know what great lives they actually had. I never wanted to, when I was raising my kids, I never wanted to say anything bad about anybody else, especially when I was going through my divorce. I remember after my first divorce, and I will get into that whole first marriage, and I'll tell you where later. I remember I was already married to Brian. I don't think I had Ryan yet. I don't remember Ryan being around, but Sean and Chris, Brian and I were sitting on the couch, and then there was a coffee table, and then Sean and Chris were on the floor in front of the coffee table, and then there was the TV. It was a big TV, you know, the console in the wood. And I don't even know what we were watching, but all of a sudden Sean turned around and looked at me and said, "Mom, I'm glad you and Dad don't fight anymore." Out of mouths of babes. They're so innocent and they don't. I didn't realize I tried not to fight in front of my kids. But you know, I remember being upstairs and hearing my dad, his voice was very vocal, and the neighbors probably heard him. So even though you think your kids aren't listening, they're listening. They are always listening. What do you want, sweetie? I got nothing. I'll go get mealworms in a minute. So anyway, on June 16th, I'm launching a group on Facebook. And it's a private group. So if you want to join this group, you have to I have to let you in. I'm not letting anybody in. I don't want, and it's not that I want to hide anything from my family. But I still have family members who are Facebook friends with me. Although they never comment, they never support, they never like, they never follow, but they've had their say. I have been part of the gossip chain through the family, and I don't know if I remember in kindergarten, you sit in a circle and the teacher whispers in the ear of one of the children something. And then that child whispers it to the person to their right, and so on until it gets back to the teacher. And it is totally different than what the teacher said in the first place. Everybody adds something, which is why I said in my Facebook post, if you heard different, I can imagine the truth being spun faster than politics. And I really believe that because I've heard things. I've heard things from my family members about years ago, and I'm like, no, that's not how that happened. My mother had this piggy cookie jar, and I really wish I would have kept it now, but it was given to her by her mother for their 25th anniversary. Now, my family's going to tell me I'm wrong, but you know what? I lived with my parents. I went through all the pictures with them over and over and over. I asked about stories. This piggy cookie jar that my mother didn't keep cookies in, she kept birthday candles in, was given to my parents by my nanny for my parents' 25th anniversary. When I wanted it, but when I got to Illinois and my car was full, I was just so afraid this pig was going to break. So I told my oldest sister, I said, let my niece keep it. One day I was talking to that niece. You didn't give that to me. Aunt so-and-so gave that to me. I said, well, she may have brought it to you, but I told her to give it to you. Oh, no, no, no. That's not the way it went. And then she acts like she's going to have a effing nervous breakdown because of this. And I'm the dramatic one. Yes, there are many women out there who, if they walked into their niece's wedding and saw their ex-husband sitting there, well, because, he's Uncle Chuck, he's part of the family. Well, no, he's not. I divorced him. So the funny thing is, it only goes for me. If I would have invited my sister's ex-husband to something with her new, and I wish I would have. I'm sure Jack would have came home from Louisiana for my going away party in Illinois in September or August or whenever it was of 2020. I don't know if you can see Lucy, but she's going to fall in the trough and I'm going to have to rescue her. Anyway, if it would have been one of them and it actually happened, I can't get into this. All this has to go into my other page, my other group. So 10 years ago, I started writing a book. It's called Overcome. How you overcome the crap that happens in your life and how you're able to be you and not who other people want you to be. And I'm going to launch it June 16th. It's going to be a private group. If you want to join or somebody else who needs to join, just to talk it out, just to know you're not alone. It helps. Just to have somebody else in your situation helps. And it's going to be called Overcome. And I will start at the beginning of where my book starts. And I will talk about the things that I went through. And like I said, it's going to be private because this is my side. Other people have told their side of what they wanted it to look like. Mean Girls, I said about the movie Mean Girls, I've never seen it, but you think you had it bad in high school, you can have it just as bad in your family. So, time to remove one of the coats. It was only 51 when I came out here. All right, so oh no. Oh, here it is in my pocket. I thought it blew away. Let's do our positive thought for today. I just realized there's more music on here. I guess when I'm feeding the horses and you're just looking at them. Let's test this out. Let's see. No, I don't want to play happy birthday. Look at Petunia. I got to get them some water. All right, let's try this one. These are all preloaded music things. I need to turn it up just a little bit. Okay, that sounds like heavy metal. All right, let's try this one. That's not too bad. These are all preloaded into the StreamYard app. Let's try this one. That's kind of nice and cheery. All right, this one says feeding the horses. Let's find out. That's kind of cute. Daydreaming. It's kind of nice. Dance pop. Okay, and this one's called acoustic. Acoustic something. Okay, so maybe we can start using some of those when I'm. Do you keep going away when I do that? Because I just closed the app again. I have to be so careful when I'm touching this. Otherwise, everything goes haywire. All right. Today's positive vibe. So positive thinking involves focusing on the positive aspects of a situation, expecting a good outcome, and cultivating an optimistic outlook. It happened yesterday. Boy Scout leader George, I can't remember what we were talking about, but it was something that happened to him that wasn't pretty good. And I immediately looked at him and said, but the positive thing is, and that's what you got to do. You have to train your brain to immediately, when you hear something negative, turn it into a positive. So this can be achieved by practicing gratitude. Like, have you found your gratitude stone yet that you need to keep in your pocket or on your bedside? Focusing on the good and replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Like I did yesterday, George said something in his life happened negative, and I immediately turned it into a positive. So it's not about ignoring problems, but rather approaching challenges with a hopeful and proactive mindset. And that's what I want everyone to do. I want everyone to do that because you're just gonna be so much happier. Now, here's what I do. If my boys were still in my life, I would not be on this ranch right now. The things that happened, the chain of events that happened in my life in the last 10 years would not have happened if my boys were in my life, because I would be focusing on my boys. I would not be focusing on me. I would not be focusing on the messages that I'm getting from God or the universe or whatever you believe in. I would have not received those messages. I may have received them, but I wouldn't have heard them. because this whole journey started with me sitting on a tree in the mountains, a branch of a tree that grew to the west, and it was perfect to sit on. And it was low enough to sit on. I didn't have to climb the tree. And things just started happening in my brain that it was just amazing. I was all by myself, and I was thinking, well, this would have never happened if this didn't happen first. So the journey that you're on in your life, things have to happen first before other things can happen. I would not be here today if I had my boys in my life. So that was originally my positive thought, so that I wouldn't curl up in a ball and stay in bed all day and, waste my life because of their decision to divorce me. God had a plan that He had to take that part of my life out of my life so I could get to this part of my life. And I hope that makes sense to you. So if you have an opportunity today, if the weather is like as beautiful where you are as it is here, and I'm praying for all those people in the tornadoes yesterday or 2 days ago, that was just devastating. If you have a chance today, get out in the sunshine all by yourself and don't actually think. Just let things come to you and it'll start making sense. Your whole life will start making sense. Now, my life makes sense. I understand because of all the education that I'm doing now. I'm learning how chemical imbalances in your brain, drugs, even though I know none of my family, that wasn't the case. I'm beginning to wonder, like one of the videos that I saw of my son, he was talking about ADHD, he was talking about autism, he was talking about bipolar. I don't know who's feeding all this crap to him. I did, however, think that him and Ryan were a little bit autistic because Kyle, and it was the cutest thing in the world, Kyle was so into Thomas the Tank, and he would set up a track and he would turn on the little battery powered Thomas the Tank. This child, his feet were on the ground. Now picture this. His feet were on the ground, but so was his head. So his butt was up in the air. But his hands would be well, let me get rid of this. His hands would be doing this. That's how Kyle had to play with his trains. Ryan played third base in baseball. Ryan, you could tell he didn't want anyone to see him doing it. So his hands were down at his sides, like on his thighs, and his hands were doing this. So, yeah, it's the cutest thing in the world. Why label it? Why? I think my son thinks his brain is all messed up because he was told his brain was all messed up. His brain is not messed up. It's nothing that can't be adjusted or fixed. I raised Sean and Chris. Sean had ADHD and Chris just had ADD. But there are ways around things, So please, again, just don't judge people. If they're not like you, if you don't want to hang around with them, fine. But you don't have to make fun of them. You don't have to tell other people, oh, they're batshit crazy. Keep it to yourself. Keep those negative things to yourself. Stop spreading negativity around the world. See, that bird agreed with me. Just if everybody could just readjust. Can you imagine what this world would be like? And I just want to be part of that tiny, tiny, minute percent. And I'm hoping, like I was talking yesterday, the last time I was on, I was talking about like, share, follow, subscribe. And if you share to 2 people and those 2 people share to 2 people, my channel would like go crazy. I could build a goat barn. I could build a sheep barn. I could build another horse barn. I could rescue Mustangs that, are being chased by helicopters out in the wild. I could do all that good stuff too. I'm not asking for other people who can't afford things to send me money. I'm just asking you to, it takes a millisecond to hit that like button. It takes a millisecond to share. It takes 2 seconds to type hi in the comments. And then Facebook and YouTube and TikTok are responsible for sending me money that they charge all the advertisers. And that's why you see advertisements. You don't see them when we're live, but you see them on the playback and you see advertisements. And I know it's annoying. Excuse me. But when you see that advertisement, either Facebook or TikTok or YouTube are getting money from that advertisement. And then that money gets spread to the influencers and the digital creators who have the most followers and the most likes and the most comments and the most views on their, repeat videos. And that's all it takes. It takes a second out of your life. I mean, I'm sure you've done more things. Like me sitting in the car for 5 hours waiting for a stupid raccoon or a stupid fox, and that's 5 hours of my life I'm not going to get back. But while I was in that car for 5 hours, I was liking Del Scone videos and Steinmetz Farm videos and all the baby goat videos. So I have been on way too long. Have I really been on an hour? I am so sorry. But anyway, watch for Overcome, the group. Tell your friends about it. If they need someone to talk to, they can join the group, and I will be telling stories. It'll be a controlled group. You'll have a chance to and I'm thinking once a month we could do a live, like a Zoom live with all of us. I think I have to do the research. I think I can do like a live with 10 people on StreamYard, but it's something else I have to learn. So anyway, it is too beautiful of a day to sit here and listen to me go on and on. So again, like, share, subscribe, follow, say hi in the comments. You have an amazing, amazing day, and please make somebody smile today, and we will see you tonight.